Welcome again to the Old Principal. I am the Old Principal, and we're coming again to another English lesson. Now, in these lessons, what you will hear is a short story. Of course, you've heard a lot of them already, and these stories will help us not only learn new words, but it will help us in our listening ability. This is lesson number 209, An Anatomy of Student Teamwork. Interestingly, I shortened the title just to Student Teamwork, and you will see why I originally put anatomy in just a moment. But before we do, let's listen to the story.
Story 209, An Anatomy of Student Teamwork. After graduating from college, Bob Anderson entered medical school at a small teaching hospital in Kansas. Classes were much more difficult here than in college. Keeping up with the teachers proved to be a difficult task. In anatomy class, the instructor had worked for many years in an emergency clinic and as a teacher in the medical school. Bob liked his personality and felt awed by his mastery of anatomy. The professor presented his material while standing at the blackboard. Teaching without notes, he lectured while sketching colored pictures of the organ that he was describing. His drawings rivaled those in Gray's Anatomy. During the first class, Bob realized that he couldn't take satisfactory notes on both the professor's lecture and on his pictures simultaneously. He glanced at his seatmate's work. David Jones was an artist and drew the teacher's sketches with ease. David leaned over and whispered to Bob, "Why don't you take notes on his lecture, and I'll draw the pictures?" "Sounds good to me," agreed Bob, and the two became study mates. David and Bob spent lots of time together studying Dr. Lingquo's material. Often they ate as they studied, sitting at outdoor tables during the summer and at the library in winter. One day, David suggested they study at his house. "Dolly will fix us lunch." David was a vegetarian, and since Bob hadn't met a vegetarian before, he asked many questions. In time, he asked, "What do you drink?" "Soy milk," explained David, "made from soybeans. Would you like some?" "I'll try it." David's wife poured a small glass, and he drank it. He looked quizzically at the glass. That's interesting." "Oh, I'm glad you like it." "Well, I didn't say I liked it," objected Bob. "I said it's interesting." By the end of the school year, Bob and David both received high marks. They'd also become lifelong friends.
Okay, welcome back. Here we go now in the lesson. After graduating from college, Bob Anderson entered medical school at a small teaching hospital in Kansas. So, graduating from college in America, it's very interesting. Excuse me. In America, it's very interesting because you have to go all the way through college, 4 years of college, then enter medical school. But in other places in the world, you go into medical school right after graduation from high school, or as they say here in the British system, after Form 7. Okay, so after graduating from college, Bob Anderson entered medical school, 医学院, okay, at a small teaching hospital in Kansas. Small teaching hospital 是一个 这个小型的教学医院在 Kansas 州。Okay, classes were much more difficult than in college. Oh, yeah, it's not so easy when you think about it. That classes are quite different and quite, there's just more pressure. In fact, those who have taken medical school have said that they study all the time. 医学院. Wow. Classes are much more difficult than in college. Keeping up with the teachers proved to be a difficult task. So, what does it mean? Keeping up with the teachers. Okay, 赶得上这个老师们的进度. Okay, keeping up with the teachers proved to be a difficult task. Okay, usually we think of prove as 证明, right? But in this case, keeping up with the teachers was a difficult task. Or 成为 became a difficult task. So proved is used a little bit differently in this sentence. Going on. In anatomy class, okay, what is anatomy? Oh, here comes the word anatomy. Okay, 解剖学. So we've got that, anatomy, 解剖学 or 解剖课. In this case, it's anatomy class. I remember that my classmates of a long, long time ago who were studying anatomy, they said, oh, anatomy is so hard. 解剖学, so difficult, anatomy. Okay? But important if you're studying medicine, right? In anatomy class, the instructor had worked for many years as in an emergency clinic. Okay, now, emergency clinic, 急诊诊所, okay, 急诊诊所. And as a teacher in the medical school, of course, he was a teacher now in the medical school. So, anatomy was a very common thing to him. Okay? Going on. Bob liked his personality. That's always important, isn't it? If you like your teacher, if you like the personality of the teacher, then it's easier to study. So, if you do not like 很讨厌, if you do not like or 不喜欢 a teacher, then what happens? You lose your interest. You lose your interest in studying, and it's very, very difficult, right? Bob liked his personality and felt odd. What does it mean to feel odd? He was impressed. Okay? He was 很动人的一位老师. It really made him sit back and think, wow, this guy really knows his stuff. Okay, he was awed by his mastery of anatomy. What does it mean to be a master or mastery of anatomy? It simply means, mastery means that he has studied it very well. And he has learned, well, I'm not sure that everything about everything, but mastery means that you have studied it and studied it very completely. You have a complete knowledge of a certain subject. Okay, in this case, anatomy. Okay, the professor presented his material while standing at the blackboard. Now, this is pretty good because sometimes professors, when they present their material, they're like me. You have your notes right here, and but this person had mastered his subject so well. That means he had such a complete knowledge of his subject that he could stand at the blackboard 黑板，站在黑板那边 okay, and he would present the material. Now, that's just pretty good. Going on. Teaching without notes. 没有笔记, so he didn't have his notes like I do. Okay. And he lectured while sketching colored pictures of the organ he was describing. Okay. He lectured 讲课. So he's teaching, lecturing, 讲课. But it says here, while sketching colored pictures of the organ he was describing. While sketching, 画这个草图, okay? Is that said that right? Okay. He was sketching, 草图. I just want to make a sketch. The 画图 is to draw a picture. A sketch is a 草图. It's not as good as maybe a printed picture, okay? Sketching colored pictures, 有颜色的图画, okay? Or 草图, okay? Of the organ. What is an organ? 器官. Name some organs of the body. Can you name some organs of the body? Some organs of the body would be your heart, your liver, your stomach, your pancreas, your kidneys, your intestines. These are all organs of the body. In fact, even your skin, 脸你的皮肤也算是一个 organ, 器官. Okay, so the organ he was describing. So as he was describing, he was drawing a picture. Going on. His drawings rivaled Gray's Anatomy. Now, we will stop here in this one sense that Gray's Anatomy is considered in America the standard work on anatomy. Okay, so Gray's Anatomy 是一本书, Gray's Anatomy. Very famous. I remember hearing about Gray's Anatomy. I'd never studied it, but I remember hearing about it. Very famous. Now, his drawings rivaled, okay? Rivaled means 可以跟 Gray's Anatomy 的所画的图比较. In other words, he was a good artist, he drew good pictures, and it was very similar, or maybe even better, rivaled, better than Gray's Anatomy. 这个课本呢. Going on. During the first class, Bob realized that he couldn't take satisfactory notes on both the professor's lecture and on his pictures simultaneously. Okay. During the class, Bob realized 他意识到, okay, that he couldn't take good, satisfactory, 好的笔记，没办法 to take notes means to 写笔记, okay? Satisfactory, 好的笔记 on both the professor's lecture and on his pictures. So, Delmer 意识到 that there is no way that he could possibly take the notes and at the same time draw the pictures. So now he had a dilemma. Remember, 是一种困境，两边的 which is he going to do? Is he going to take the notes or is he going to draw the pictures? And he couldn't do it simultaneously. 同时，同一个时间. Wow, that's a big word, but a good word. I am doing it simultaneously with, okay, going on. He glanced at his seatmate's work. He glanced, that means he looked at his seatmates, 同座位. Okay, so they two people usually sat together. Okay, his seatmate's name was David. David Jones was an artist. Okay, so he is a 画家. So he can draw the good pictures. And he drew the teacher's sketches with ease. So it was very easy for him to draw these 草图 that were up on the blackboard. He could draw them with ease. What is the ease? 很容易会这个画出来. Easy, okay. In this case, with ease, easily, 很容易. Okay, so David, this is the artist, he leaned over and whispered to Bob. Whispered to Bob, 低的声音呢, 跟 Bob 说, why don't you take notes on his lecture and I'll draw the pictures? 你写的笔记 and I will what? I will draw the pictures. So this is the teamwork that they were going to set up. Go ahead. Sounds good to me, agreed Bob, and the two became study mates. 学生伙伴, study mates. Okay, a study mate is a 学生伙伴. Sounds good. 对我来说是听起来是很好. Agreed, Bob, and the two became study mates. Okay, going on. David and Bob spent lots of time together studying Dr. Ling Kuo's material. The professor may have been Chinese. That sounds like a Chinese name, doesn't it? David and Bob spent lots of time studying together, studying Dr. Ling Kuo's 资料 material. Going on. Often they ate and studied sitting at the outdoor tables during the summer, okay, and then at the library in the winter, okay. During the summer, they studied outside. Why would you study outside? Because the weather is good. 户外, outside, at the tables outside. Because the summer weather is good. And during the winter, what? During the winter, you would end up studying what? Indoors, studying inside the dormitory, the classroom, inside the school, the building, going off. One day, David suggested they study at his house. One day, David suggested, why not study at his house? Dolly, i.e. his wife, Dolly is his wife, will fix us lunch. Okay, 给我们准备午饭. Going on, David was a vegetarian. 他是吃素的，素食，吃素的是一个 vegetarian. Okay, and since Bob hadn't met a vegetarian before, well, hey, what's new? I mean, a lot of people have never seen or heard of a vegetarian. So he said, well, vegetarian? What? In fact, my wife told me, she said, because my wife is vegetarian, for that matter, I guess I am too. She said, what do you eat? This is a friend of my wife's sister. What do you eat? Oh, there's a lot of things to eat. Trust me. Okay, David was a vegetarian. Since Bob hadn't met a vegetarian before, he asked many questions. In time, he asked, what do you drink? 你喝什么? So, what do you eat? Now, what do you drink? Going on. Soy milk. Okay, what is soy milk? 豆浆, explained David. And it's made from soybeans, 从黄豆或大豆. Soybeans, 黄豆, 大豆. And so his friend said, would you like to try some? Would you like to try drinking some soy milk? And he said, I'll try it. Going on, David's wife poured a small glass and he drank it. Well, at least he drank the whole thing, okay? David's wife poured 倒出来一个小杯 of soy milk and he drank it. He looked quizzical. When you look quizzical, how do you look like? 这个脸上打了一个问号 okay? It's a questioning look. Now, have you ever heard your teacher say, today I'm going to give you a quiz? Okay, a quiz. Now, this word is quizzical. It's built on the word quiz, asking questions. So, when you look quizzical, or he looked quizzically, 他的脸上这个表达出来一个问号 like what's this, okay, at the glass. And then he said, that's interesting, going on. And his friend David said, oh, I'm glad you liked it. You liked it. Going on, I didn't say I liked it, objected Bob. So he objected, he didn't agree. He said, I didn't say I liked it. I said it was interesting. Well, by the end of the school year, both of the young men had become very good friends. very good friends at the end of the school year. Bob and David both received high marks. What does it mean to receive high marks? It simply means that 他们的成绩是好高啊。High marks is another way of saying their grades were very high. They'd also become lifelong friends because this was student teamwork, 学生伙伴 or 学生团队合作 student teamwork. Teamwork is actually a very good word. Teamwork means 团队 and then 合作. So if a team works together, we call that 形容他们所做的 as teamwork. Okay? And it says more than just that they did it together. They became lifelong friends. Lifelong means 他们一生是做要好的朋友. Well, that's the story, and I think all of us have had the experience of working with other students. I once had a history teacher, and his questions were so complicated, and 5 or 6 of us worked together. It was teamwork, and we answered all the questions and prepared a study sheet so that we all could study for the test. Well, now it's time to tell you that you could write an email to our email address, theoldprincipal@gmail.com. We have a website. 我们的网站是 www.theoldprincipal.org. Hey, it's been great spending this time with you, and I do hope that you will join us again and bring a friend too. Until then, bye-bye.